огне. Кто читает свои сны, поклоняюсь темноте.
I was dropped straight into the game. There was no beginning scene or anything. My character was just dropped into a blank prairie field. Rick, the character, was wearing a gray t-shirt, ripped blue jeans, and white running shoes. There was blood splashed all over the front of his t-shirt, and visible wounds showed through the rip in his jeans. His face was pretty scratched up, and he had one black eye. He certainly looked as if he had been fighting in some sort of war. I went to the pause screen, which was a white untextured screen comprised of 3 options in black text: resume, options, and exit. I chose options and looked at the controls. I went over the basics like how to draw a weapon, then I resumed. I pressed L2 on my controller and a pistol appeared in my hand. The name of it was Bloody M9. Well, I guess this game was set in modern times, as the M9 wasn't introduced until 1985. I know lots of things about guns. I also thought that this was a strange name for a pistol. I pulled up my inventory and read its description. There were no attributes to look at, but there was a morbid description. The description read, "This pistol was the pistol your friend Mike had while trying to defend his family against them. You picked it up off the ground in the middle of a pile of blood, where Mike stood, where he tried to defend, where he was taken." Once again, the game had mentioned them. What or who are them? Was it or they rather alien, human, or something else? I closed my inventory and took into my surroundings. Nothing but flat plains and a couple small hills were laid out before me. I had no map, no objective, and no idea what to do. I scanned the skyline and noticed that there was a steady stream of black smoke pouring up into the sky from somewhere off to the right of me. I immediately thought of the destroyed town from the beginning screen. Could this be it? I set off walking in that direction through the blank prairie fields. It took me about 10 minutes, real time, to walk all that distance towards the smoke. When I got there, I noticed that this was indeed the town from the main screen. Just from standing on the outskirts of this place, I could already tell that there was some sort of dispute. There were a couple of buildings that had been demolished completely, and there were also some buildings that seemed relatively untouched. As I walked into the town, I saw the carnage that this dispute had caused. There was a table that had been flipped on its side right outside of what seemed to be a general store. There was a large hole in the middle of the table, and a puddle of crimson red blood lying beside the hundreds of assault rifle shells. Off to the side lay a broken AK-47, probably used by another poor civilian trying to defend his family. All through the town, there were puddles of blood, craters, shells, and debris. The only thing I thought was weird was that there were no corpses to be seen anywhere. Where were the corpses? Had this person not programmed corpses in? Was it because of them? I reached the end of the town and came upon a small bungalow-like house. I noticed that the door was wide open, so I went on in. The second I stepped in, more dialogue started to play. My house, where me and my family lived peacefully for over 6 years. The house where some of my fondest memories live. The house that protected us. The house that is now nothing but a lamb caught in the slaughter. For a prototype game, it had been some damn good voice acting. Even if the gameplay graphics weren't the best, it still seemed like a cool and slightly creepy game. I wondered why this guy was fired after he had finished. I looked around the house and saw that there was almost nothing in the house besides a few chairs and a small table. I walked into the living room and saw a gun cabinet. At this point, I really didn't care about weapons since there were no enemies to fight, unless I finally run into them. I saw that there was one gun in the cabinet, an over-under shotgun. I walked over to the cabinet and a name and command popped up. This guy must have not put much work into the game details because the name for the shotgun was simply called shotgun underscore over under. I pressed triangle and picked it up. It replaced my pistol instantly, and I laughed my ass off when I saw how my character held it. His arm was perfectly straight and held onto the front grip of the shotgun, and his right shoulder stuck out of his back as he held the grip and trigger with his right hand. I stepped out of the house and noticed that it was getting kinda dark, so I started off to find somewhere to stay. About 2 minutes later, I was greeted with the message, "Don't let the gatherers get you." Is that what they were called? Gatherers? What a sadistic name for an enemy. It sounded like the name of some monster out of a horror movie. Seeing as I didn't want to take any chances out here in the open, I went into the general store near the entrance of the city and stayed in there. I put one foot in the door when I heard something run past me. I looked back quickly, but did not see anything. I ran in and made my character shut the door and lock it. There was a lock option on the door for some reason. I turned and looked through the window and was scared shitless. Right outside stood one of the gatherers.